Welcome back to my channel here at Trace the G. My name is Sammy. Today I'm excited to talk about KULR, APLD, and Webull. We have some exciting news, potential uptrend continuation, and support bounce on Webull? Question mark. And one more play, KULR showing some magnificent opportunity. With that being said, please like the video, subscribe to my channel, and join the Discord. $20 entry to join the Discord, folks. $20 entry to join the Discord. All right, so let's take a look at KULR. It's showing magnificent opportunity here, in my opinion. I see a bunch of things adding confluence to the reason why I believe the potential reversal is going to pan out. So the first thing first, I'm looking at the RSI. So the last time we had a bounce off the RSI was on this trend line down here when we touched it one time, two time, and then boom, we bounced off and made a magnificent move to the upside. Now, if we continue to have a bearish sentiment on SPY and futures, then I suspect that the bounce, or at least the confirmation bounce, would be right here at this trend line. Now, in terms of the price action on the daily right now, you notice how buying pressure, at least the candles are telling you a story. They're telling you, look at the buying pressure and the wicks coming in. Look at these long wicks, buying pressure coming in, buying pressure coming in. So again, we're at the impulse, again at a nice little wick here. So typically with these harmonic completions, you got to wait and have patience. Wait and have patience. Confirmation. So sometimes you want to wait for the 5 EMA to start acting as what? As support, and then candles closing above the 5 EMA to give you that psychological anchor. Okay, reversals potentially coming in, but right now it's been acting as a key resistance. So I want you to pay mind that, do not take a trade if you're not risk tolerant. Do not take a trade if you want to wait for the 5 EMA to start curling up. Well, wait for the 5 EMA. So the Discord members do have a potential, or I should say, a key resistance level, wink, wink, key resistance level. So that's going to be a nice little, trade. Well, whatever, obviously have your tight stop loss, but once it hits that resistance level, wink, wink, anticipate a sell off. But if obviously you don't get in just because you get in, wait for confluence, wait for confirmation, wait for candle structure, wait for bullish divergences to pan out in your favor, EMA lines, but it's panning out to show a potential reversal. Now, obviously, again, reversals, the battery has to show us a potential reversal as well. So if SPY futures again is bearish, this will also act as bearish. But look at the weekly on the RSI on KUR. This is why I love this thing so much. This is why I love seeing RSIs on the weekly like this in this matter. This is currently in a channel. All right, let me put this a little bit down. It's currently in a channel. It's respecting a certain trend, which I love seeing. It's respecting a trend. So obviously we're still showing a little bit of bearish momentum, but look at the MACD, guys. Look at the MACD. Look how it's slowly, how do you say, coiling, or it's sort of like it wants to sort of give us at least a bullish momentum reversal. So a lot of things still has to work in our favor, but a lot of things are showing some great signs of reversal. Look at your positive DI. Look at your ADX. Look at that. If it starts doing this, folks, even a slight little, nice little coil, this is gonna be a nice little trade. So keep an eye out. Still bearish. You can tell by your delta. Look at your delta, your weekly delta. But once the reversal does come in, it's gonna be one hefty trade. I mean, it's gonna be magnificent. So just be patient with it. Wait for confirmation. Next, bull. All right. We had a YouTube chat talk to us about, mention Bull. I am very, very, very bullish on Bull. I love Bull. I absolutely enjoy this company. I'm biased, unfortunately, but the chart is not biased. The chart gives us the true data. The chart tells us a story. So one thing we are noticing is that we're making a high and a lower high. Okay, we're respecting this upper trend line, but look at the lows. We're making a low and a higher low. So that being said, look at the respect. Look at this candle right here, respecting above this trend line. So I normally like to see confluence above 5. Anything above 5 is adding confluence. But one thing I want to note here, look at your RSI, pivotal bounce. We never really touched it, but the fact that you're making a nice little pivot is really good. Now, one thing I don't like right now currently is that we are crossing the MACD on the daily and it's pointing pointing south, excuse me. So a lot of things I do not like. This is pretty much a contention point where it's at a critical key area. But if I turn on my EMAs, let's go ahead and take a look at that. We're currently below the 5, the 10, the 20, and the 100. The 5, 10, 20 EMAs and 100 SMAs. I currently do not like that. And right now we're testing that green line, which is what? Your 50, my 50 EMA, and we have to be above this purple line, aka VWAP. So I like how we are above the 50, and then above VWAP. But again, remember, the battery is giving us bearish momentum, and this all depends on Powell tomorrow as well. No liquidity during these times. You just have to be vigilant, stay focused. But we are at another support area. Very risky during these lows because the pressure, downward pressure on SPY is still relevant. Okay, if we are going to bounce, I suspect, let's go ahead and touch this key pivot zone, because if you look left, again, it was acting as resistance. This acted as support. Are we going to come and touch this RSI trend line and act as support, or are we going to break resistance? We're going to show support, or we're going to break down and act as a resistance. All right, so that's just something to consider. Be patient. You just have to be patient, but stay vigilant, okay? If Powell does say something positive tomorrow, this thing's ready to blast off. If we happen to make a trade, let's say above this trend line, and then we have a continuation, you make a 4% trade. Not only you're above the micro 382 level, psychological anchor points, now you're above the daily 100, the daily 5, and the potential the daily 20 and the 10. So that's going to slowly start acting as a what? All right, as a what? As a potential reversal to the upside. So I like what I see here on both. Stay patient. And last but not least, stay patient. And last but not least, APLD. You know I love this company. I've been talking about APLD since the beginning of my YouTube channel. Listen, this one's going to be very, very, very simple, okay? We are testing a key resistance area. How do I know this? Well, I'm going to show you guys something which I found out a couple days ago, okay? Actually, this was actually today. So we are still inside a broad rounding bottom, okay? Broad rounding bottom. We're going to come, and within this broad rounding bottom, I'm still very bullish. I am almost positive that we're going to test 35. We're going to test this 886, but more than likely, we're going to come back and hit this left flip around the range of, let's see the closing candles on here. I think it was around the 40, 50, 45. So yeah, I am almost confident we're going to come back up in this range. You just got to give it time, patience. You're not going to get rich overnight on this thing. It's showing a lot of bullish momentum continuation runs. Now look at the EMAs on the monthly, okay? Look at your EMAs and the monthly. There's nothing but positive momentum on the upside. You're riding the 5 and the 10. Look at the active support on these EMA lines on the monthly. But one thing I do want to say to you guys, we're testing a key resistance area. Let me go ahead and clean this up right now. Look at where the candle action is right now. Look how many times we hit it. On the monthly. I guarantee you on the weekly, we probably touch it twice. Okay, good. Notice this rejection here and notice this breakout, but still a wick, right? If you look left, look what's happening on the weekly and monthly on this beautiful chart. I'm going to show you guys something. Let's start on the monthly. I want you guys to understand we are now testing a monthly key resistance area on this thing. The last time we actually touched approximately 1586. Look at this wick. And look at the reaction off of this monthly trend. We absolutely got hammered to the downside. But look where APLD is now. We are now testing it yet again, 1586 as a key resistance area, monthly key resistance. And if you look left, what do you see here? Let me turn on my demonstration. Resistance. Support, resistance, support, resistance, resistance, support, resistance, resistance. This is the key area, and again, resistance resistance right here, Key area, we're testing it again. After years later, we are now testing this, and this is adding what? Confirmation. We are hitting a key monthly resistance area, and if you break that, it's off to the races. Okay? It's off to the races. Let me turn on the daily on APLD. Still above the 5, above the 10, above the 20. This is a continuation bullish run. Like it's literally running. Even your negative DI is pointing down after a huge movement to the upside. And typically we have a long consolidation phases and a little bit of downward pressure, but this thing is only up. Not financial advice, but this thing is only up. I'm just so positive about APLD. Believe me, this is a long-term play, but man, oh man, things are pushing to the upside. Again, remember your batteries, aka SPY, ETF, VIX, they have to also act as a give us that extra push to the upside. It's right now not looking so hot. It all depends on tomorrow. And if tomorrow Powell says something beautiful, well, guess what? We're also going to see our bags looking nice. Okay, so stay vigilant for the overall macroeconomics, but APLD. It's a beautiful, beautiful chart. So with that being said, thank you so much for tuning in. Like the video, subscribe to my channel, and join the Discord. There is a $20 entry to join the Discord, but trust me, it's worth the salt. So thank you so much. Have a beautiful day. Cheers.